Many people out there, you're so busy looking forward into the future at a future time where you believe that the battle will become so intense, physically and particularly spiritually, right? But what I would like to say, I would like to let you know you need to stop looking forward to the future battle. The battle is going on right now, fam. In the invisible world, the spiritual realm. You know, them spirits. It's so much things, so many happenings, things taking place in the invisible world as we speak. Somebody probably heard that sound confirmation in the background to let you know I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. I am your brother, Mr. Real Talk, and this is your go-to YouTube channel for brotherhood, sisterhood, and an attempt at righteousness. I believe tomorrow will be a solar eclipse tomorrow, sometime in the morning. Hold on 1 second, Hebrew. And hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button already. I'm sorry. I believe the total solar I'm sorry again. And it won't be a total solar eclipse, but I'm about to look it up right now. About to look it up right now. Okay, what will happen on March 29th, 2025? A partial solar eclipse occurs in the polar regions of the Earth when the center of the moon's shadow misses the Earth. A partial eclipse will be visible for parts of the northeastern United States, eastern Canada, Greenland, Europe, Northwest Africa, and northeastern Russia. Let me see what time will this be. Let me see something. Let me see. I'm asking Google, what time will the eclipse be in D.C.? Okay. In Washington, D.C., the partial solar eclipse will begin around 2:04 p.m. Okay. And reach its peak at 3:20 p.m. with the sun being 87% covered. That's a pretty sizable part of the sun. 87% of the sun. That's the majority of the sun. Before ending around 4:32 p.m. So the peak of this will be around 3:20 Eastern Standard Time. Hebrew, you've got to understand this. Do you guys realize? Hold on. Give me 1 second. This eclipse will be on the 29th. So today is the 27th, tomorrow the 28th. The 29th will be on a Saturday. So at about 3:20 p.m. East Coast time will be the peak of this eclipse. And when this eclipse kicks off, 87% of the sun will be blocked. Do you understand the magnitude of this, Hebrew? This is so spiritual, I can't make this up. The moon, the sun, it controls people's physical actions and their thoughts, their spirits. It makes them do things, makes them not do things. I cannot make this up. This is a very big deal. signs and wonders. Okay? Let's check this out. Let's go and check out the book of Genesis, shall we? Because somebody out there thinks I'm making this up. Somebody out there thinks I'm making this up because it's much easier to stay asleep. Time is running out, Hebrews, whether you know it or not. And once the Most High stops sending them fishers out there, He gonna send them hunters. And once them hunters come, it's game over. You're gonna get hit, and you're gonna get hit where it hurts. Listen to this. Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Did you see that? Let them be for signs and seasons. What's one of the signs? That we are the Israelites. What's another sign? That we figured it out, not because we so smart, but we figured it out, that it's all about the Most High and Him alone. The God of the Old Testament and Him alone. It is a sign and a wonder from the mighty one of Jacob that we were able to understand that finally. A little after 2,000 years of being deceived by Christ and the church. It is a sign and a wonder from the mighty one of Jacob that we are somehow now, after thousands of years, now we're able to understand that this whole JC thing is a fraud and a hoax because of Hosea 6:2. All of this is spiritual. Our knowledge and understanding, even spiritual power and discernment, are coming back slowly but surely with every single sign and wonder, Hebrew. I'm talking to somebody out there right now. And welcome to all of the new family members who are over here on this channel. Maybe you a Gentile. Maybe you're not an Israelite. Maybe you are a Gentile who just popped up over here some way with a coincidence, right? I'm here to tell you this ain't no coincidence. You're here because the Most High has summoned you. He's either summoned you here so that He can condemn you for rejecting this, or He summoned you here so that you can cleave to the Israelites. What's it going to be? I know the majority of you Gentiles going to be destroyed because you're going to reject this right here. It's all good because you're not rejecting me. I don't have anything for you to reject. You're rejecting the Lord of hosts, and you're going to get snuffed out as a result. This is a sign and a wonder. Things are much, much, much more spiritual than anyone could imagine. They got everybody looking forward to some day in a distant future, when right now, as you're watching this video, the biggest battle for your soul, the biggest spiritual invisible battle is going on right now. The physical world is not what they told us. The spiritual world is not what they told us. Now, I know some of you may get very uncomfortable with some of the topics that we talk about around here. But my job is not to make you comfortable. My job is to bring it out and to wake you up to things that may be uncomfortable sometimes because you need to know the truth. The truth is not easy to swallow a lot of the times, and it's not comfortable because we're just now starting to wake up. Everything we know for the most part is all lies. And if you were a chosen one, you were not sent here to make people comfortable with the lies. You're actually here to stir the pot, to expose the lies. That's why you were sent here, chosen one. A lot of signs and wonders, even though it's happening right out in the open. Only the chosen one. Sound confirmation. Only the chosen ones even know about sound confirmation. This thing is so spiritual. You're looking forward to some day in the future. Do you even understand what kind of world that you live in? I'm talking about the physical world right now. It's nothing like what they've been told. It's nothing like what I've been told, what you've been told. Did you know that the serpent in the garden Did you know that that serpent had the power to create life from the dust of the ground? You heard me correct. The serpent, the one surrounding all this deception in the book of Genesis, did you know that that same serpent had power to create life from the dust of the ground? Don't believe me? We read it out of the Yahweh Bible. And the Yahweh Bible is a game changer. What you got to understand is you got to stop just going along with whatever the church or society has put out there for you. A lot of these Bible translations have been created to soften you up, to dumb you down, to weaken your understanding, to keep you docile, to hide the truth from you. The truth is not just something that's easily attainable to anybody just laying around waiting to be picked up. You got to look for it. And you got to look like it's buried treasure. If you actually knew what kind of world you live in, you would be terrified, many of you. That's why a lot of you, you're not going to be able to digest the fact that the serpent in the garden is also a creator, according to the Bible. We read it right here on this live out of the Yahweh Bible. And part of the punishment for the serpent, Yahweh took away the serpent's ability to create life from the dust of the ground. We read it in the Yahweh Bible. I'll come on here at some point and read it again. And did you also know that the serpent in the garden, Satan, okay? The serpent in the garden. Some people will say it's Lucifer. Some people say it's Satan. Whoever you want to believe that is, that serpent in the garden, Satan, that is a woman, according to the Bible. But see, since it's not in the King James Bible, most of you can't understand that. And you're not going to look into it neither. You're going to hear me make the statement that I just made. And even once I go and read it out of the book of Genesis, you're going to reject it because it destroys everything that you've been taught. It destroys the matrix that we live in. And that's just a small part of it. Can you imagine what would happen to people's mental health if they realized that the serpent in the garden used to create life from the dust of the ground? That would shatter everything you think you know about reality. Because if the serpent was creating life from the dust of the ground, just exactly what was the serpent out here creating? How much of it did he create? Exactly what was he creating? I guess we don't know. And if you say you do know, where's the proof? We'd love to see it. But this truth right here is very uncomfortable for many. So you know what you'll do? You just ignore it. At least right now, some of you have the luxury of ignoring hardcore truth. I am not one of those people. I don't have that luxury, fam. The Most High God got me where he got me. I don't have that luxury. I gotta bring it out, even when it's not popular, even when it's uncool, even when it's widely rejected and not accepted. This thing is deeply spiritual. There are spiritual entities and spiritual beings on this earth, in this earth. The church has suppressed much of this. They burned and destroyed most ancient documents, millions of them, by the church. And then they fed you this JC character. Love, 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 brother. You don't know nothing about what's going on. And you're too afraid to ask questions. Don't read this, don't read that. Okay, yes, master. Sound confirmation. I can't make none of this up. How many of you have ever heard of the Gnostics out there? Ancient people, ancient writings, ancient texts, all burned and destroyed by the Roman Church. Why? Why'd they do that? I bet you you're not gonna go look into it. I bet you ain't gonna go look into it because you don't want to know. Just like the movie The Matrix, you want to be lied to. It helps you sleep better at night. That's why when you go to sleep at night in the dream world, You are in the spirit realm, and anything goes when you're in the spirit realm. I mentioned yesterday when I was on the live, I told a story about one of the dreams I had when I was a kid. I lived in a heavy drug infested, high crime, high violence area. I was anywhere from 7 to 9 years old. My neighborhood, they would be shooting every day, gunshots every single day, every day. But as a kid, at some point I realized that these were gunshots. And so I knew when you hear a bop, 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 stay away from the window, right? But you know, when you in a dream, sometimes you don't do things that you would do in real life. So in my dream, I'm a little kid living in this neighborhood, wild, crazy neighborhood. I heard something go, bop, bop, bop. So I knew somebody got shot. And I ran to the balcony to look off. And when I looked off, don't ask me how I know, okay? It was a body out there, out back, laid out on the ground. They got shot. I can't remember if I saw my face or if I just became aware of the fact that that was me out there that got shot. I don't know which one it was, but I just know that that was me out there that they got shot. And it was somebody kneeled down on the ground, or I thought this was somebody, kneeled down on the ground, crouched over like they were trying to help, like they were concerned about me being out there shot. So as I'm looking, I'm like, oh snap, somebody got shot. And then I start to realize, oh no, that's me. I got shot. And as I'm trying to realize, how did I get shot? I'm laying outside on the ground, but at the same time, I'm in the house on the balcony. Once again, this is a dream. When you go into the spirit realm, and dreams are the spirit realm, when you're having a dream, anything goes. So I'm in the house on the balcony looking out, and I see the back of somebody on their knees hunched over my body, and they're looking like they're trying to help, like they're trying to be concerned. And I'm looking like, I can't believe this is going on. And then the person, or I thought it was a person, had their back to me, right? Like that. And then they turned around and looked up, because I'm up on the 3rd story balcony. So this person who I thought turned around and looked up at me. And when it looked up at me, I realized that it was a demon. Now, he didn't say, hey, I'm a demon. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me. His face was so hideous, and he had a very demonic smile and a grin on his face like, yeah, you scared as shit, ain't you? You're terrified right now, ain't you? Look at me. And I was freaking terrified. And he looked at me, and I'm looking at him. He had this demonic smile on his face like he knew how afraid I was, and I could tell he was very happy about this, which was very disturbing to me. Okay? I'm like between 7 and 9 years old having this kind of dream. Why am I having this kind of dream at 7, 9 years old? I don't know. Okay? Could it be that these evil spirits knew me as a child from the day I was born and just had it out for me like they had it out for a lot of you out there? And this was one of their ways of trying to scare me, which it did work. I was scared to death, terrified. Can you imagine being a little kid, 7 to 9 years old, hearing gunshots, bop, 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 go to look outside only to realize that you're the person out there on the ground? I was terrified. And then you think that somebody's out there trying to help you, and then that somebody turns around, looks up at you, and it's a demon. I was scared out of my mind. And that demon was looking at me with an evil, demonic smile. I could tell that that demon, it wanted to scare me. And it did. And it knew how afraid I was. And that demon was very happy because of the fear that came on me. I could tell by the smile on his face. I never saw nothing like that. Scared the hell out of me. And even as I look back on that, you know what? That lets me know that those evil spirits are real. As a small child, why would I see something like that? I would love to know what you brothers and sisters out there think about that, okay? The spirit realm is real. The spiritual, invisible world is very real and is very impactful. And it's very active right now. Everybody's not, excuse me, everybody's not permitted to take a peek or to take a look in on the spiritual realm. Now listen, I would have rather not saw that demon. I'm not happy about that. However, how many people can actually say that they saw a demon? That's nothing to be proud of. I'm just saying the spiritual realm often collides with the physical realm. How many people can say that they've actually seen a demon in their dream? Literally. I have. How many people can actually say they heard the voice of Yahweh himself, like I'm talking to you in a dream, but much more larger and terrifying? I have. Because the spiritual realm is a part of the physical realm. Oftentimes, it bombards right over into it. And this solar eclipse that we're going to have on the 29th, not only is this physical, but it's spiritual. A sign of pending doom for some, and a sign of deliverance and restoration for others. Sign of blessings for others. Signs of wisdom and enlightenment, depending on who you are. Okay? One thing I want you to do, if you haven't done already, I want you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Understand what season we living in, okay? Solar eclipse coming up, another sign and a wonder to let you know all these things are going on. We had 2 7 planetary alignments within like 90 days. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a blood moon eclipse. Now we're having a solar eclipse. I'm talking to somebody out there. Do you know what time it is on the spiritual clock, y'all? It's getting late in the game. Turn back to the Most High while you still have a chance. The solar eclipse is a warning, family. I don't know how many more warnings we're going to get. Tighten up, Hebrew. Tavex. Purity and becoming one. Everybody on this channel, I love y'all. To all of the new family members, I love y'all. Subscribe if you're not. I'll see you, most high willing, tomorrow evening when we going live. Peace.